Sometimes you have to start over. Sometimes life gets so full of things that don't belong to us anymore that we forget what it feels like to simply be curious. Bad habits, unhealthy relationships, patterns we keep repeating because they're familiar, environments that keep pulling us back into versions of ourselves we've already outgrown, constant problems, constant reacting, constant surviving. And after a while, you become so used to managing what is hurting you that you don't even realize how much of your life is being spent there, trying to fix it, trying to understand it, trying to make peace with it, trying to make something unhealthy feel comfortable enough to stay. Sometimes the answer isn't learning how to live with it better. Sometimes you have to cut it out. And I don't mean that every difficult thing should be thrown away. I mean, there comes a point when you have to recognize the difference between something that is challenging you to grow and something that is continuously keeping you from growing. Those are not the same thing. Sometimes starting over means admitting this habit doesn't serve me anymore. This relationship keeps taking more than it gives. This version of me was built for survival, but I don't need to live there forever. This thing I keep returning to is familiar, but familiar doesn't always mean healthy. And when you finally begin clearing some of that away, something unexpected happens. You start having room for yourself again, room to wonder, room to create, room to try things you never tried before, room to be bad at something without feeling ashamed, room to discover parts of yourself that survival never gave you time to meet. That's what I've been thinking about with crochet. I never knew how to crochet. I wasn't someone who grew up watching someone do it. I didn't spend years thinking about learning. I just picked it up one day and tried. No big reason, no promise that I would be good at it. I simply wanted to see if I could. And maybe that sounds small, but sometimes when you spent years carrying heavy things, doing something simply because you want to, is not small at all. There was no crisis attached to it, nobody needing anything from me. I wasn't fixing anybody. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was just learning, trying, messing up. And I mean, I was messing up, pulling stitches apart, starting again. And I realized how beautiful it is to become a beginner because beginners are allowed not to know. Beginners are allowed to make mistakes. Beginners aren't supposed to have everything figured out yet. Maybe some of us need that permission in life too. Permission to say, I don't know what this next version of my life looks like. I just know I don't want to keep living the old one. I don't know exactly who I'll become without these habits, without these people, without these patterns, without constantly being in survival mode. But I'm willing to meet that person. Sometimes starting over isn't losing everything. Sometimes it's finally making room for what never had space to grow. A new hobby, a new boundary, a new routine, a new relationship with yourself, a different way of thinking, a quieter life, a softer life, a life where every day isn't spent recovering from yesterday. Maybe you don't have to know exactly what comes next. Maybe you just have to become willing to put down what keeps hurting you long enough to pick up something you've never held before. I picked up a crochet hook. Maybe yours will be something completely different. The point isn't what you choose. The point is that you choose something new, something that reminded you there is still more of you to discover. And maybe starting over isn't really about becoming a whole new person. Maybe it's about clearing away enough of what was consuming you so you can finally meet the parts of yourself that never got a chance to live. I'm wishing you love and light on your journey. It's the best one, but let me tell you, it's a rough one.